Vic Van asks, would Leo AI be only for premium users? And the answer is yes. Leo AI is trained on all the data on Inleo, so that includes threads, it includes blog posts, comments, all the interactions, upvotes, everything. It's actually pretty much trained on the entire Hive blockchain. Um, so it's only going to be accessible for premium users, really for two main reasons. One is obviously it creates a nice value proposition for becoming premium, and the second is it actually solves a critical issue related to credits. So when you use AI, every time you prompt AI, essentially you're using a credit with that AI because it actually costs something. Like it's not free to prompt an AI. There's a cost happening in a data center somewhere on Earth, essentially. Um, and that's a big reason why OpenAI, for example, has their $20 a month premium subscription for users to use like the latest data models and use auto GPTs and whatnot, is because basically the more you use it, the more it costs them in some form or fashion. So the same thing applies for Leo AI. Every time you prompt Leo AI, it will cost us something. So we basically have resources that have to get allocated toward that. And closing it to only premium users essentially lets us control that cost. Exactly, like Tasso just said, it's not exactly free to transact on Hive. There is a kind of cost on the network, but that cost can be deployed in very different forms. So for Hive, we have resource credits so that if you have a certain amount of Hive power, you can do whatever you want on Hive, essentially up to the amount of resource credits you have. So to start, we're going to close Leo AI to only premium users, and that's how it's going to remain probably forever. You'll have to be premium in order to use AI on Leo, and um, if we run into the issue where, potentially Leo AI is getting spammed by somebody who, obviously they have to go premium, but then if they start spamming Leo AI and it starts costing us a lot of resources, we may have to add some sort of cap. But the cap would be really high. Like it would be, if you prompt the AI like 10,000 times a month, which I don't think the average user is going to prompt it anywhere near that. I think it would probably be a handful. Like if you think about how many times you actually use ChatGPT per month, even as I'm a heavy user of ChatGPT, and I probably only have a couple hundred prompts a month. Um, so there may be a pretty large scale cap to it if we start getting abused on the AI front. Um, but yeah, it is only, long story short, it's for premium users only. And it's trained on all the data of the Hive blockchain. And I've been talking about it a little bit more recently because I think we're getting closer. But there's been a few like major technological advance moments for the Leo ecosystem. Um, you know, Obviously, I think the biggest one in the most recent memory is going from being only long form to having short form microblogging. And we really introduced, in my opinion, I mean, to this day, I still haven't seen a platform that can do microblogging at scale on a blockchain. So I still think Leo is the only platform that can actually do it at a large scale, and put it all directly on the blockchain. So um, that technological advance moment was really important for this platform, and you can kind of see it in the growth of our monthly active users and just overall activity in general, revenue models with premium, et cetera. And I think Leo AI is going to be the next big leap for us. And that is going to be just integrated into the Inleo platform. So it's just going to be, if you're premium, you instantaneously get access to Leo AI. And I've kind of talked about like the two major use cases that Leo AI will launch with. Um, the first is that you'll be able to ask it questions. And like I said, it'll be trained on all data on the Hive blockchain. So you'll be able to ask it questions about your account. You can ask it questions about like who's interacted with you in the past, and stuff like that. And then the second one is as a writing co-pilot. So I think the writing co-pilot's actually going to be one of the most interesting use cases of Leo AI, which is when you're writing a blog post or writing a thread, even you'll be able to have basically like this little AI chat window that kind of pops up on the bottom right. And while you're writing, it may suggest certain things, and it will be trained on all the things you've written in the past. So it might say something like, you're nearing the end of your blog post, and it might suggest basically a template for the footer of your blog post, and say, usually when you close out a blog post, you say thank you for reading, and you leave a couple links to your latest blog posts, and have a nice day or something. And then it'll say click here to add that to the bottom of this post. You'll click a button, and then it'll add it to the bottom of that post. Or let's say that, for example, you're Taskmaster and you're writing about Tesla. And typically when Taskmaster writes about Tesla, he, say includes a link to tesla.com, and, might even tag a few users on the Hive blockchain who tend to like reading his posts about Tesla. Maybe that's like a typical format or pattern for Taskmaster. And the AI will know that because it's read all of his blog posts, and it will offer a little button, and it'll say, click here to tag all those people and add, links to tesla.com, because that's what you tend to do in these blog posts about Tesla. So that Copilot is essentially going to be a way to supercharge your writing. Or you might even be able to prompt it. You'll say, what's a good section to add to this blog post that I'm writing right now? And maybe you're writing about Tesla, Tesla Autopilot or something. And, at, let's say you write three, main headers, and then you get down to the end of the blog post and you're like, well, I want one more section, but I don't know what to write about. And you click to prompt the AI, and it's trained on the internet. It's trained on your writing style, and it will give you a suggestion for something that you could write about at the end. And it's not going to write blog posts for you. So we're going to have some pretty intricate limitations on it, so that it can't just like write a whole blog post for you. But what it can do is essentially just make your writing faster, better. It's like Grammarly on steroids. If you've ever used that, it'll improve your grammar, improve your punctuation, allow you to ask it to help you write new sections, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's going to be the Copilot use case. I really think the Copilot use case is going to be the biggest of all of them. And we're going to keep coming out with new use cases as well. As this kind of AI market develops, we'll be right on the trend in terms of adding new features and things that you can do. And you guys already know that a big use case I've been thinking of for a long time has been the AI auto summarize a blog post into a thread. So I think that'll be pretty widely used as well, turning your blog posts into threads. Self-help for trolls asks, can I use LeoAI in Japanese? Yeah, you can use it in any language. So it's actually basically has a translator built in. So like if you use ChatGPT, you can use it in Japanese. Same kind of applies for LeoAI. I would think about LeoAI as essentially being like ChatGPT if you're familiar with it. And I think that's just because I use that example because, I would say probably everyone here has used ChatGPT or seen it in some form, because it's the most widely used LLM. So just imagine ChatGPT, but trained on specific, Hive and Leo information and data.